Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive into a career path some of you have been asking about. We're going to be digging into the role of a shop assistant, using those RoleCatcher resources you send in, ready to cut through the noise and uncover what this job is really all about.
I think a lot of people can be surprised when they realize it's more than just, ringing up groceries all day.
Right, like even the name shop assistant, the guide lists sales assistant, specialized seller, it's a surprisingly versatile title.
And there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
The role really depends on the specific shop. But the one thing that unites all shop assistants, they're all about creating that awesome customer experience, working with the shopkeeper, not just for them.
I love how the guide put it in the what they do section. It's not just about knowing where things are, it's about being a total product guru. Giving expert advice? Can you believe that?
Yeah, and that's where the unique skills come in, right? It's this
Yeah.
blend of knowledge, like sales and marketing, but also people skills,
Hmm.
like persuasion, active listening. It's a whole other level of customer service.
Wow, imagine like you're explaining the latest phone features while simultaneously calming down a customer who's trying to return something.
Exactly. It's not just about being friendly. It's about knowing how to handle all those different customer interactions like a pro.
And on top of that, you've got to keep up with the technology, manage inventory. Is there anything a shop assistant doesn't do?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. While the core of the job stays pretty consistent, the tools are changing fast, thanks to things like e-commerce.
Yeah. E-commerce online shopping. Kind of a big deal these days. And the Role Catcher Guide even has that whole section, industry trends. So what's the verdict? Are robots coming for all the retail jobs?
It's funny you should say that because all this online shopping is definitely pushing the need for shop assistants to have those tech skills we talked about. But it's not about robots taking over. It's more like shop assistants are becoming even more important,
Yeah.
just in different ways.
Okay, now you've got me curious. Tell me more.
Think about it this way. Anyone can order practically anything online nowadays. But what online shopping can't replace is that human element. The expert advice, that personalized touch. That's where a good shop assistant really shines.
So it's about combining the convenience of online shopping with that personal touch you only get in a physical store.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And that's where those evolving consumer habits, like what the guide was talking about, come in. Remember that example of people going online to research before they even set foot in the store?
Oh yeah, I am totally guilty of that. I'll be in the aisle, phone in hand, checking reviews.
And that right there is a golden opportunity for the shop assistant. You're not just ringing them up anymore. You're like a consultant, helping them connect the dots between their online research and what they actually find in the store.
That makes so much sense. But in a practical sense, what does that actually look like? The guide mentions technology advances. Are we talking like coding skills? What kind of tech stuff are we talking about here?
Well, just knowing how to use a cash register isn't going to cut it anymore. Let's say a customer wants to buy something, but it's out of stock at that particular store. You, the shop assistant, need to be able to navigate their system, maybe put the order through online for home delivery, all while keeping the customer in the loop.
So you're not just a salesperson, you're tech support too.
Kind of. Think about mobile payment systems, loyalty programs. I've even seen stores using augmented reality to make shopping more interactive.
Whoa, augmented reality, that is next level.
Right. It's all about adapting to keep up with shoppers and what they expect in this digital age.
Okay, so the tech side is making more sense now. But with everything changing so fast, what's the overall outlook for someone wanting to go into this line of work? Is it even a viable career anymore?
See, that's the interesting thing. A lot of folks think retail is dying, but the RoleCatcher Guide seems pretty optimistic about the future for shop assistants.
Really? That's good to hear. But why is that? I mean, with online shopping and everything else?
Because those brick and mortar stores, they're not going anywhere just yet. People still want that in-person experience, that chance to actually touch and see things in person, get advice from a real person. But to really succeed in this environment, those shop assistants, they've got to be adaptable and comfortable with tech.
So it's less about like just surviving and more about leveling up, right? Sounds like some real opportunities for growth in this field.
100%. And that's what I thought was so cool about that elevating your career section. It's not like you're going to be a shop assistant forever. The guide was talking about moving into visual merchandising, becoming a buyer,
Yeah.
even working your way up to management.
So there are actual career paths within retail. It's not just a
Thousand.
dead end like some folks might assume.
Totally. Especially now with everything changing so much,
Hmm.
anyone who can adapt and keeps learning new things,
Yeah.
they've got a real advantage.
Speaking of getting started, I thought the guide's Getting Started section had some good advice too. Seems like it's one of those fields where actually doing it trumps just having it on your resume, right?
Oh, for sure. Having your high school diploma, that's great, don't get me wrong. But employers want to see you've got experience, even if it's just part-time or volunteering.
So, to all our listeners out there, if you're thinking about a retail career, maybe try and snag that summer job at the mall or volunteer at a bookstore on weekends.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
That shows initiative,
Yeah.
a willingness to learn. Those are the things that stand out.
Okay, so let's say you've got the experience, you're tech savvy, ready to impress those hiring managers. The guide also has that whole section on interview prep. What kind of questions should someone be ready for in a shop assistant interview? Any curveballs they should be prepared for?
Ah, yes, the interview. It's showtime, right? Time to let your passion for retail shine through and prove you've got those customer service skills. One they always seem to ask is, tell me about a time you went above and beyond for a customer.
So have that awesome customer service story ready to go.
Yep. They want to know you're not just there to punch the clock. You actually care about those customers and giving them a good experience.
Oh,
Another one they often ask is, what would you do if a customer was looking for something you don't have in stock?
which, let's be real, is bound to happen at some point.
Happens to the best of us, right? But your answer, that's got to show you know their system. You can think on your feet, maybe suggest something similar or offer to order it for them, that kind of thing.
This has been eye-opening. RoleCatcher really went all out, explaining what it really takes to be a shop assistant. It's way more than just scanning things at the checkout.
It really is. It's about being adaptable, tech savvy, and, of course, a people person. Can't forget that.
So true. Well, as we wrap things up here, if you could leave our listeners with one last thought, one big takeaway about the future of this career path, what would it be?
That's a good one. I guess I'd say this. With online and offline shopping becoming more and more intertwined every day, the role of the shop assistant, it's changing in some really exciting ways. The people who are going to thrive are the ones who embrace technology, who see themselves not just as salespeople, but as consultants, problem solvers, experience creators.
It's not just about selling a product, it's about creating that experience.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the world of shop assistants.
My pleasure. Always happy to talk shop.
And for everyone listening, we hope you learned a thing or two about this dynamic, always evolving career. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive.